last minute, looking around for some sites that might be open.
That was before we checked the weather.
Yeah. And Chris said, well, they have a site open. It's the last site at Crater of Diamonds State Park. And I love looking for treasures.
She loves rocks and loves digging in the dirt.
I do. So he booked us the site for the weekend, and then yesterday, well, on the news feed on my Facebook page, a lady found like a 3+ carat diamond, brown diamond, on Tuesday this past week. Yesterday or last night, started looking at YouTube videos on what we need to do, how to look for diamonds, because we've been several times and we are professional hunters of diamonds. We have no clue how to find a diamond. That's the problem. And I want a diamond so bad. I just want a souvenir diamond to put in a locket, wear around my neck, or if it's too big to go in a locket, you know, that's okay too. But, so wish us luck, and we will keep you guys posted. We're going to bring you along to see how we do. Crater of Diamonds has 47 gorgeous AAA campsites with full hookups, free Wi-Fi in the campground, 5 tent sites, and 2 bathhouses. We're up early making breakfast and getting ready for the day. I'm sure today will be the day I find my diamond. We also wanted to show you how roomy it is inside the Max with 2 of us. Crater of Diamonds State Park is one of the only places in the world where you can search for real diamonds, and what you find, you get to keep. More than 33,000 diamonds have been found since it became a state park in 1972. The park is open year-round with the exception of Thanksgiving Day, half-a-day Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. Entrance fee into the park is $10 per adult, $6 children 6 to 12, and under 6 is free. Be sure to check out the visitor center before you head out to the field. They have great historical information about the park and how it got started. They also have examples of diamonds that you will find once you're hunting. This will help you so that you know whether or not you have quartz or you have the real thing. Take pictures of them before you go. This will be very helpful once you get out there. If you're not sure what to bring, the park has a lot of tools that you can rent. Today, Chris and I are going to try our hand at wet sifting. Once you make it out to the field, now is the tough part. You have to decide where you want to get dirt to take back to sift. Stick around to the end of this video. We have a full tutorial from a park ranger showing how to do this wet sifting method. Oh, you did that so much better than I did.
lot of white right there.
Yes, you did great. We need tweezers, don't we?
Definitely gets all the white stuff towards the middle.
That's when you know you're doing it right.
Yeah.
From the videos that we've watched. You are allowed to take home 1 bucket of sifted gravel per day. To process more gravel in a day, you'll want to scoop out this center section with a little bit of a wider radius to take home to sift later. Many diamonds are found at home after going through their sifted gravel. We've decided to clean up and call it a day. It's time to go and get some lunch at the camper. If only there were a diamond stuck to the bottom of my boot. That would be great. So we are headed home. We had a blast this weekend. We always do though when we camp. Doesn't matter where we go. But it's especially fun when you're trying to find diamonds. Better luck next time. That's what we always say. It keeps us coming back.
Someone did find one yesterday, though.
Yeah. I don't know how big it was, but we brought home some gravel. You're allowed to bring home 1 5-gallon bucket of gravel per person per day in the park. We did not sift that much. That would be a lot of work. It's not for the faint of heart. If you don't want to go and work and try to find a diamond, you're just going to be walking around a dirty, muddy field.
And it was very muddy.
Very muddy.
It had been raining a lot, and it was probably the worst conditions we've ever seen it, but we've never been whenever it's been very rainy before, so.
But Chris, he got the wet sifting down pretty fast. I tried it without much success. You have to sift it so that the heavier stones will fall to the center, to the bottom center, because the diamond is the heaviest, so that when you flip it over, you get that diamond on top. And Chris had it down, but he's good. He's like a jack of all trades. He can figure anything out. He doesn't like me bragging on him, but it's the truth.
But we still didn't find anything that we know of, so we got the hang of it.
I bet we have a diamond. I bet we have one back there in the back of the back of the car.
But we did get, they have 2 pavilions set up with water trials where you can wet sift, and that's where you'll find and meet and talk to a lot of people that are trying the same. And most of the people that are there are a lot like us, amateurs, whatever. But they do have people that come there and they're from there and they're regulars and they've been there and they find a lot. And we were beside a man who had been there a few times, and he had a couple of very small diamonds that he showed everybody. Obviously, he became quite popular once he showed them once. He had to show them again and again.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and we will catch you on the road. Until next time.
Safe travels. See you soon.
Hope you're all having a good day so far. I want to welcome you to Crater of Diamond State Park. My name is Wayman. I'm the park interpreter here. We're going to spend about 10 minutes or so this afternoon showing you how to search for diamonds. A couple different ways to do that. Also show you what diamonds look like, so you know what you're here for. Always good to know kind of what you're going to be searching for today. The Diamond Discovery Center here to my left, you'll find the closest restrooms to the search area, the area where you can also rent your equipment, and have your stuff identified, and hopefully have that diamond certified before you leave here today. There are different ways to search for diamonds. Both of them that we're going to talk about today work well with rain. We've had a lot of rain in the last couple of days, and so rain actually can help make diamonds easier to find. The easiest way to go out and find a diamond is just look on the surface. Pick one up that's been uncovered by the rain and left exposed. About 25% of our diamonds are found that way. That includes most of the bigger ones. The 3.29 carat that was found here earlier this week was found on the surface. So keep in mind when you're out here, you're going to look for something shiny. Diamonds will have a metallic shine to them. They're going to be very obvious. Most of the gravel here is colorful, but not really shiny when it's dry. And so diamonds are easier to spot a lot of times by just looking on top, being in the right place at the right time, sort of thing. So go out there, look where you're walking today, and you could very easily come up with a diamond. Now, wet sifting, which is what we demonstrate during these programs, is the most successful way to search for diamonds. And about 2 out of 3 diamonds registered at the park are found by wet sifting. But it does take more time and more tools. You need at least 2 hours to be here in order to wet sift effectively, because you have to learn the process, and then you want to go through as much dirt as possible. If you're only here for an hour, your best chance of finding a diamond is actually surface searching, because you can cover more ground with less time. You don't have to learn anything new. With wet sifting though, we recommend a bucket, shovel, and screen set. The basic kit that we rent at the park is good for 2 to 3 people to wet sift out of. You're going to start off digging a bucket of dirt, digging in the lower areas where the water washes down. Pretty easy to find right now since we've had a lot of rain. Look where the mud is in the lowest parts of the field and dig your dirt from those areas. Dig, it will stick pretty close to the surface. Just get the top 3 or 4 inches of dirt, put that into your bucket, and then take it to one of our 2 washing pavilions. The big covered buildings you see straight out from the sidewalk and over on the left, those buildings that have water troughs and tables in them, that's where you're going to do this process of wet sifting. You'll take your screen set, put your dirt into the top screen. Once you get out there, the top screen is the one with the larger holes. Make sure they're not backwards when you use them. But fill the top screen at least half full of dirt. You want a solid layer of gravel in that bottom screen after you wash the dirt out, so put a lot of dirt in to start with. Take your screens into the water, set them down into that water trough, and start going through that top screen by hand. One nice thing about diamonds is they don't have a natural static charge to them, so nothing sticks to a diamond. They're usually not going to be in a dirt clod or stuck to a rock or anything like that. They'll be by themselves. So it's a good time saver that you don't have to break open dirt clods or push a lot of the dirt clods through the screen to find a diamond. If you have dirt clods in there, you can leave them alone and you'll probably be okay. We do sell rubber gloves at the Diamond Discovery Center here. Water's going to be pretty cold. The air's not too warm, so the water's going to be cold too. They will help keep your hands dry and a little bit warmer, especially if you have cloth gloves to wear under them. You can wear those rubber gloves and be pretty good wet sifting. Pick your screen set up once you get the loose dirt out of the top screen, and just sift the dirt through the bottom screen. Just shake them in the water there to sift that dirt on out. Take your top screen off and set it off to the side. You'll notice all the larger gravel stays in this screen. This is also where you want your diamond to be, obviously, because you want to find the big ones, right? Everybody comes here for the big diamonds. Always look through this top screen for that larger diamond. Right now everything's wet and shiny, so the best thing you can do is set it on your table, let it dry for a few minutes, and then go back and look through it when you're finished with this screen. Most of your diamonds will end up in the bottom of your screen set. The average size diamond found here is 1/4 of a carat, or about as big as a kitchen match head. So they're going to be somewhere in this bottom layer of gravel. And what you have here is about 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick layer. This is what you want, solid, small gravel. So in order to find a diamond in all this, you've got to do a little bit more work. Right now it'd take you probably forever to find a diamond in this pile of gravel, because there's a lot of little things in here about the size of a diamond. Using the process I'm about to show you, you can use 3 steps, and in just a couple of minutes eliminate about 80% of what's in this, so that all you have to look through is a very small part of it where the diamond's most likely to be. For step one, you'll hold your screen on both sides of the wooden frame. You'll set it down in the water and rock your screen with a quick left and right motion to roll that gravel to the middle. Everything lines up in the middle of your screen. You kind of see what happens here. You want to practice doing that because you're going to do it a lot today if you wet sift, rocking your screen to roll that gravel to the middle. For step two, pull your thumbs back, keep your fingers under the wooden frame and tap up and down on both hands at the same time. And that tapping motion spreads your gravel back into a flat layer. Almost looks like what we started with, but it's different. What happens to your heavy gravel when you tap it out? It goes to the bottom, right. The heavier gravel sinks first, that's how gravity works, and then the lighter stuff spreads out around it. Now, for step three, you'll turn your screen a quarter turn and repeat all three of those steps 8 to 10 times. Rocking, tapping, and turning to concentrate all your heavy gravel into the bottom center of your pile. Rock it, tap it, and turn. Now the more you do this today, the better you get at it, the faster you can go. And it doesn't take long to sift through a lot of gravel using these three steps. Each time you do it, your chances get a little better of finding that diamond. Make sure you're doing it right. After 8 to 10 repetitions, the last thing you do in the water is tap your screen out again into a flat layer. Hold that gravel at a slight angle over your trough, let it drain out for a few seconds. Let me get a quick head count while we're waiting on that. At this point, if your diamond were in here, how would you find it? Flip it over because it's got to be on the bottom. You want to put it on top, so you need a flat surface. The tables out here in the pavilions work well for that. You want a flat surface to flip your screen. It's kind of like throwing a cake out of a pan. If you've ever done that before, you know what you're going to be doing today. Flipping that screen over, landing it on top of that table. I flip it toward me. That's easier for me to do. You can flip it away from you too. Doesn't really matter. Just whatever's more comfortable for you is the right way to do it. Hold it over that flat surface and in one smooth motion. Flip it over and land it straight upside down. Now that's the hardest part of this process. So if you don't do it right the first time, don't be surprised. Don't be discouraged. Keep practicing. Re-sift that gravel a couple of times to get the hang of it. So people do find diamonds the first or second time they turn the screen over sometimes. If you have a diamond in your pile, you don't want to miss it. So practice re-sifting your gravel and flip it over again so that you don't miss that diamond. When you get it right, you take your screen off, you'll hopefully see a concentration of colors. You can kind of see here. All the lighter gravel tends to go to the outside of your pile. It's underneath, right? Because it's the lighter stuff. The black and green, it usually makes up the dirt in the field, the volcanic rock. You probably won't have a diamond in that part of your pile because diamonds are heavy. 9 out of 10 times, if you dig a diamond up, it's going to be somewhere in this colorful area. Depending on where you dig, you get different amounts of heavy gravel. Most of the heavy gravel is colorful. A lot of it contains iron. What happens to something made of iron when you leave it outside? Rust. It turns red, right? So that rusty red color, good primary indicator that you're digging up heavy gravel. Look for that and keep digging your dirt from that same place. Look for white bullseye. Again, you won't find that everywhere. Some of the better places you will. Those are crystals, quartz and calcite especially. But if you dig up a lot of crystals in one spot, chances of you finding a diamond are generally better there because diamonds are crystals just like those others. They wash through the field together when rain picks them up. So dig where you find lots of heavy gravel and lots of crystals. Use your eyes and kind of spiral from the inside out, looking over that colorful center for the diamond shine. Don't try to look over it all at once, but look for that shine to stand out. Even on a cloudy day, you will see it. It will stand out and be noticeable. Try not to pick up anything with your fingertips that you see in your pile because what could happen? If it's a diamond, you're going to lose it, more than likely. Easy to poke holes in the pile and bury a diamond. Diamonds are slippery, so use a flat tool, a pocket knife, key, credit card, fingernail file, spoon, tweezers, or long fingernails to scoop under that potential diamond. Pull it out of your pile so that you don't bury it. Get it in your hand and kind of roll it around for a few seconds. Diamonds are going to have a smooth edge. They're not going to be sharp or jagged typically all over. They can break, but they're going to have a rounded surface somewhere on it. They're not going to be totally sharp and jagged. They're also going to be very shiny. So you feel of it and it feels smooth and rounded, but it looks dull, probably not a diamond. If it's shiny or if it's something you're curious about, you want to hold on to it, bring it up to let us look at here at the Diamond Discovery Center. We'll identify it and we'll certify it if it's a diamond. We'll let you know what it is. After you go through your gravel, you can still re-sift this and you can take it home with you. All you have to use is the colorful stuff in the middle where that diamond most likely ends up. You'll scoop that out of your pile, you drop it back into your stream to re-sift, do exactly what you did the first time. Rock it, tap it, turn it 8 to 10 times. Reconcentrate it. Work on top of your lighter gravel, just spread it out, flip your screen on top of it to make it easier to land so that you're not just hitting that bare wood of the table out there. It makes it a little easier to flip your screen over. Whether you re-sift any gravel or not, we encourage all visitors to take gravel home with you if you can. Each person here is allowed to take up to 5 gallons of sifted gravel per day to search for diamonds later. About half of our diamonds are found in the gravel. You cannot take dirt home, but if you sift it out, you can take this gravel home and double your chances. Diamonds from here are going to look the same wherever you are, and so before you head out, I'm going to show you what they're going to look like in the rough. Each one of these is about 1/4 carat. The average match head size that's found here. They're white, brown, and yellow, the most common colors found in the park, in that order. And they all have the same sort of shine to them. I'm going to show you these. These have never been cleaned, cut, or polished. This is what they're going to look like in the rough. They're going to be shiny when you see them. That's what they'll look like. Does anybody have any questions? We have an average of 1 to 2 diamonds found here per day. The more you learn about diamonds and what they look like, the better chance you have to have a good experience. I want you to have fun looking whether you find one or not.